Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Let me start with three quotes. April's expected hiring boom goes bust. U.S. economy added just 266,000 jobs last month versus estimates for 1 million or higher. And major disappointment, America added way fewer jobs than expected in April. Those are the headlines. These are just a few of the headlines since last week's shocking jobs report. To be clear, the shock is warranted. But let's get past the headlines and dig deeper into the data. The fact is the economy created 597,000 new jobs in March, but we could only fill 266,000 of them in April. The National Federation of Independent Businesses reported that 42% of business owners had job openings that could not be filled, a record high. Yesterday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the job openings level reached a series high of 8.1 million jobs available. That is positive, quite positive, and it shows that we're coming out of the COVID shutdown economy. But why can't we fill these jobs? We know vaccines are widely available and businesses are lifting capacity restrictions and safely reopening. We see that here in the District of Columbia's government and when they're lifting these opening restrictions. This should be a recipe for a hiring rebound. It should also be a recipe for Congress getting back to normal business. So why does the reality not reflect the data? The truth is there's something else at play, even if the Biden administration won't say it. It's the Democrats' policies that are stalling our recovery. President Biden's partisan $2 trillion so-called COVID relief package has made it more appealing for Americans to stay home instead of going back to work. Consider this, the job filling rate is at an all-time low. In fact, there were fewer hires per job opening in March than at any time since they started collecting this data. This can't be blamed solely on COVID. Over the last 20 years, our country has faced a financial crisis, a great recession, and we still had better hires per job opening during those times. We also have a devastating number of women not returning to the workforce because our schools are not fully reopened. We know child care is a requirement for both parents. It is. And we're seeing a lack of child care and a lack of reopening of our schools restricting job growth and job opportunities. And we know that the science says that we could have safely reopened schools months ago. We also see lows in the retail and service sector, which should be booming as the industry rapidly reopens. Instead, we see a sluggish recovery directly caused by Democrats' policies. We should fix this. So maybe before we consider adding additional progressive priorities, we should address the issues caused by the first set of Democrat proposals. Regardless of the facts today, we'll mark up 6 Democrat bills that are focused on more government, more regulations, more disclosures, more expense, more of the same old policy solutions that we've come to expect from our progressive friends on the left. Not one bill on the agenda today will help small businesses access capital, help investors save for retirement, or help them save for their children's college education, or help them build a better life. Not one bill will create jobs, help a family buy a home, or contribute to our economic recovery. Just look at H.R. 1188, the so-called Greater Accountability and Pay Act. That's what my colleagues, what my colleagues won't tell you about this is that Dodd-Frank already requires public companies to disclose the ratio of its CEO compensation to the median compensation of its employees. Yet apparently this mandatory disclosure isn't enough. Now they want companies to disclose the pay raise percentage of its executives and the pay raise percentage of its median employee over the past year and compare each to the rate of inflation. They also want public companies to disclose the ratio between the two pay raise percentages. A lot of math there, got it. Never mind, a company's pay ratio is a unique calculation based off that company's custom methodology and unique compensation structure and composition of their employees. Never mind, this ratio is meaningless as a comparative metric. You can't compare one company to another. The intent is clear. Let's name and shame public companies, and that feeds back into progressive policy goals. I could go on about the rest of the bills in the markup today, but I can summarize it in one sentence. More government, more regulations, more bad policy that will yield bad outcomes. I go back.